Appreciate his time. And now, thanks to Jordan Nabors, Rockwall Heath, wide receiver, committed to Baylor, Dave Aranda and company over the weekend after a great weekend for Baylor football. And Jordan Nabors joins us on SicEm365 Radio. Craig, Paul, and David Smoak. Jordan, thank you very much. Appreciate your time. So how close did you feel like this staff and those who visited, how good of a weekend was it, you think, for Baylor in a way that it was one of the rare times after last year was shut down when players could start to get together and also see coaches?
I think it was amazing just having to have everybody back and everybody being around everybody, just having that culture and family feeling like back. It just felt amazing. And over the weekend, just meeting all the new recruits and the players and just everybody else, just the community, it just felt amazing and just felt like family. It felt like home.
What was your impression of Chancey Stuckey and how he's started out recruiting here and bringing in the wide receivers at Baylor?
Man, he's an amazing guy. And just from the first time that we talked, he just kept it real with me from the start and just told me my role and how the Baylor offense would develop. And he was talking to me about all the other players too and how we would just work to build the Baylor offense, how it should be played. And whenever I did get there and we got to talk, he was the same as he was over the phone. And I love that. He was just an amazing person.
So what did he tell you about how you fit into what they're looking to do offensively?
He said he's looking to move me around. He wants me to play outside, play inside. He said they'll move me to the backfield a little bit, give me a couple handoffs, and put me in Wildcat a couple.
So that piques your interest a little bit, I'd imagine.
Yes, sir, it did. I love touching the ball.
Well, I mean, get your hands on the ball. Now, what is your straight out, flat out, what's your lowest 40 that you've been timed in? Because Coach Spradlin, who we've known since when he was a coach at Temple, he was on Coach Browse's staff at Houston, said you have incredible straight line speed.
Okay, so my fastest, I got clocked at a hand time was a 4.39.
That'll work.
Yeah,
that'll work.
My fastest laser, which was at the Under Armour camp a few months ago, was a 4.43.
That's razor thin. The differences between a 4.39 and a 4.4. It sounds like it's just so. It's just such amazing lightning speed. How do you improve on that? Just by what? Fundamentals, technique, what, or just how?
A lot of it, honestly, it is. Well, the 40-yard dash is technique. It's honestly all about the start, and once you get that down, that will improve your 40 by a lot. But I mean, just flat out speed. I mean, it's God-given talent, obviously. But I mean, it is something that you could work on, and it's something that I did work on every single day this past summer. So I mean, yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those things I wish God had given me, but he made me able to do impressions. So thanks, God. Anyway, but Jordan, when you came to Baylor the first time, did this feel like the place the first time, or did you have to kind of grow into it?
The first day I came, it was really just all about meeting the people and just feeling their vibes and just being around everybody. But the second day we went out and we did a bunch of things. I got to see the apartments just to see what I would be living in if I was there. And they just showed me around everywhere. And then just really being inside the stadium, the fact that I got to play in the stadium this past season back to back in the playoffs and had really good games. It's just right when I walked back in that stadium, it just brought back memories, and it just felt like home.
What was it like getting to see Dave Aranda? Imagine this is like the first time you're seeing a lot of these guys in person, right? But what was your interaction like with Dave Aranda?
Man, he's a real stand-up guy, but I love him. What's the word I'm looking for? he really brought me and my family in. Like, he brought us in like we were already a part of the family and treated us with very much respect, and I just loved him.
You know, we had George Miley on, who's probably 4 or 5 times larger than you are because he's a big offensive lineman, and he was a part of that weekend as well. I saw a picture of him at the table with Siaka Ipu, the defensive lineman from Utah, and they were eating like lobster tails and whatever else. What was your go-to meal when you had a chance to eat, Jordan?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So, we had a huge crawfish boil, and that right there, I probably had 2 or 3 plates of that. And that was probably the best crawfish I've had in my life.
All right, so you see, lineman, lobster, big.
Yeah.
Wide receiver, speeds for crawfish, small. Even though it's a lot of, it's a lot. But, like, to get to the one lobster tail, you got to eat, 15 crawfish maybe. So.
Yes, sir.
Is it worth that? Is it worth the energy?
Oh, yeah.
And time to be able to eat crawfish? I always sometimes struggle with that.
Oh, yes, it is. It's not that hard. Once you get it down, it's just like that. You just gotta squeeze, turn, and pull.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Did you have the potatoes and corn and sausage, anything else with it, or just straight up just a bunch of crawfish?
They had everything there. They had chicken wings. They had Mexican food. You name it. They had everything there. So, I did tear up the crawfish, but I had some chicken wings too, because that's like my favorite food in the world.
I love.
That's the one thing you always hear about official visits is there's a lot of eating, a whole lot of eating,
it's
whole
like
lot of food.
going on a cruise.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. So Jordan, you mentioned Dave Aranda and how he treated your family with respect. What were your family's thoughts coming out of this weekend? And obviously with you wanting to go ahead and make your decision official, what did they think?
So my mom, from the time that I really got the offer, Baylor's always been a school that she thought very highly of. And so that's one school that she really had in favor of me going to. So she really, from the jump, just her talking to the coaches, she had some real good relationships with every single one of the coaches. And my dad, after I got back from the Colorado visit, he liked Colorado. So whenever we first got to Baylor, like that first day, he was like, but after that second day, after we went and saw everything, met everybody, he just flipped like a switch and loved it. My siblings loved it. Like, it was really amazing.
You know, you mentioned those games at McLean Stadium. I know one of them was that 56-28 win against Temple that was a shootout that was emotional for Coach Spradlin as well, because he used to be there among others. So when you played, so I always wondered when certain colleges host high school playoff games, how much does that matter that someone may want to come back and play there? Did that matter to you, that once you played there a couple of times and had success, that mattered to you?
Yes, sir. It really did, because it just showed me that, I've done it once. Why can't I do it again?
Good point.
And beat Temple and then Bridgeland again in another one. So you mentioned to me your cryotherapy. So is that how often do you do that? And obviously that helps heal or let you do what you need to do after a workout. You had a heavy workout yesterday, then you were doing cryotherapy. How often do you do that? How much? How does that feel? I've been in it one time. How does it feel to you?
It feels amazing. Cryotherapy, and I do yoga. I have a yoga trainer, so those two right there, those are like amazing. It really heals your body after like a real tough workout, just a real hard workout. You'll have your body feeling back right and healthy for the next one.
All right, Jordan Nabors, Rockwall Heath wide receiver, committed to Dave Aranda and also Baylor over the weekend. I saw one of the articles, I think Grayson might have written this up on you, that you watched and remembered even the days back when you were younger with Baylor and RG3. How much did that pique your interest as well when you were younger?
It did, because, RG3, he's a stud. He was probably one of my favorite college players ever when I was younger, and he's always been one that's just, for some reason, it's stuck with me. So, and Baylor sticks with him, so Baylor's always been there.
All right. Hey, enjoy the summer, Jordan. Appreciate your time. You have that opening game, South Lake Carroll. I know you played them last year. Man, you guys have a great schedule with Rockwall's on it and the district you're in as well. Skyline, I think, might be a part of that. I'm not sure. But good luck. Thank you for your time and congratulations.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
Jordan Nabors, Rockwall Heath wide receiver, flat out can run. And as Craig, when he asked him about getting the ball in his hands in every way possible, hand it off, maybe the jet sweep, obviously different ways of throwing in the football, and someone that gave Baylor some pop over the weekend when it comes to the commitment with the official visits.
Well, he can play football. He can talk, too, in a really good way. I mean, he's easy to have a conversation with, and imagine he had an easy time probably getting to know a lot of new guys and whatnot this past weekend, but I mean, it sounds like they hit it out of the park. I mean, you got 4 commits in the last week, less than a week, really, more than like 5 days' time. And, I think, Stuckey made his impact with Nabors, and I know there's help all around. It's not like this guy just recruits this guy all the time. But, Stuckey obviously had an impact with him. Dave Aranda, we're hearing more and more about him from recruits. And, again, that's not something they could do last year. Like, people criticized, his personality at times or whatever, and it's like the only time we ever saw this guy was on the field or in the post-game Zoom call. That's the only time we really heard Dave Aranda was in Zoom calls and on the field during a broadcast, and that's it. And so you can maybe start to kind of get the sense of like, hey, yeah, he's quiet, but quiet doesn't mean uninteresting. Quiet doesn't mean unentertaining. Quiet doesn't mean you can't build really good relationships, and Dave Aranda's clearly doing that. I think that's great.
Paula, by the way, on the direct message, love this kid, talking about Jordan Nabors. If he's doing yoga as part of his training, he will have incredible balance and strong as hell core, which, of course, is huge as well.
And probably less injuries as a result, too.